Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Good
Charlene.
evening, everyone.
Mia Geeked, good to see you. And Quiz Bortarin, hi. So, our guest today is Rebecca from My Miniature World. How are you doing, Rebecca?
Hello, everyone. And thank you for the invite, Karl. I really appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure. I mean, as soon as I saw your dollhouses and the amount of detail you put into them, okay, there's a lot of stuff that I need to learn from this lady.
Thank you.
Okay, how about you start by telling us a bit about yourself, like who you are, how you got started into building miniature dollhouses, that kind of thing.
Okay. So, basically, I'm from Malta. Although I was born in Canada, I'm still Maltese. I'm not totally Maltese. I'm married, have 3 children. And for the past 27 years, I have been building those houses where I have like a collection over 30 those houses by now, which are built. Um, well, how did I start? I started at a very, very young age. I remember my first doll's house that was given to me on Christmas Day when I was like 4 years old. The doll's house, I still have it actually. But then as time passed by, when I was around 17 years old, I wanted to build my own collector's doll's house. And at, at the age of 17, I started, and it took me 6 years to build because I didn't really have any, let's say, knowledge how to go about it. So basically, I was self-taught, learned from my own mistakes. And then I think it was somewhere like in the 2000s, my parents had got the internet, the computer at home, and I did a search somewhere, I think it was Yahoo at that time, and I typed dolls' houses. And a new world started over there. You start looking at stuff, looking at other artists, and the world of dolls' houses really opened the doors there. Then I guess from one doll's house came the second, the third. Well, 27 years later, here I am.
Okay, yeah, because as you mentioned, you started way before the internet, and I don't think there's a very large dollhouse community here, so
No,
it must
unfortunately, no.
it must have been a lot of trial and error, I guess.
A lot of trial and error, a lot of trial and but the good thing was that whatever I found, even like scraps of material that let's say were not useful, I found them useful doing other miniatures. Let's say like buttons, like fabric, small pieces of fabric, small pieces of wood with paper, turning them into books. There there was a lot of things that I found useful, which you find them roaming around in your own home, and you create miniatures out of them. Unless you have to be a bit creative, use your imagination and say, I think this thing can be turned into this thing. And well, that's how it went.
Yeah, in wargaming and tabletop gaming terrain, we usually call that trash bashing, which I think it's a
Yes.
bit of a diminutive term. It's like, but still the amount of creativity it takes to see something and say, yeah, this could be this
Yes,
other thing.
yes, I agree. I totally agree. So
Okay,
yeah.
so I see that Jeroen and Lucy Collected and Dungeon Maiden have joined us. Good to see you all. Uh, One of the things that I found really interesting was that your collection is really basically a museum. You turned it into a museum.
Yes, yes.
So how did that come about? Because how does one even go start and say, okay, I'm going to open a museum?
Okay. That didn't come very easy, I would say. Didn't come as easy at all.
I would imagine not. No.
Actually, actually, the museum was opened 6 years ago, only 6 years ago, because my collection was basically at home, literally at home. And the problem was that, well, they're not miniatures when you see them like that, because they're quite big in size and they take a lot of space. considering that I have 3 children of my own, and well, you need the space as much as you need, I mean, it goes without saying. And my husband was like, listen, these things are taking a lot of space. And it was upsetting, and I could understand the point. And I was like, listen, I mean, you cannot tell me to stop building dolls' houses.
Obviously.
And he came with the he came with the idea to, let's say, fix one of my garages, which he did a very, very good job. I mean, he did everything for me, lightning, and there we go. I opened my miniature world, and it because everyone's like say it was like it's a pity that no one actually sees the collection. So I guess with one stone I hit 2 birds there.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah.
Okay. And remind me, the museum is open by appointment, right?
Yes, because I'm not always there constantly. I
Obviously.
mean, I do actually work, and so anyone who wants to come and see the Doll's House collection, has to contact me or on Facebook or any social media, and they fix an appointment, and they have, let's say, like 1 hour and a half having a tour of my Doll's Houses.
Lovely. We have a question for you from Questbird Rain. What is the smallest size dollhouse you have made?
Okay, the smallest size doll's house would be a 1 to 144 scale. It's like the doll's house of a doll's house. So, okay, my doll's houses are 1 is to 12 scale.
Okay.
So imagine, let's say, having a doll's house within the same doll's house, which is quite small. I mean, you have and
Okay.
with furniture and all. So if you have to check the scale, it is 1 is to 144 scale. It's
Uh,
quite
just to help me understand, because I was really never good at scales. Uh, how tall would a person be at that scale, more or less?
low at all. Okay. Let's say the doll is 13 centimeter. Actually, if you give me a second, I can actually show you.
Okay.
Give me a second. Okay. Let's say this is a small doll's house.
Okay. It's tiny.
It is tiny. This is 1 is to 144. It's a kit which I built. But then again, the nice thing about it is like furnishing it, adding small wallpaper and everything. So that would be the smallest, let's say, smallest version.
Okay. Okay. Because I have seen 10 millimeter scale terrain, and it's not much. No, actually, I think it's about the same size as that. And I'll be honest, I never thought anyone
What
would.
is this scale?
10 millimeter, so it's about, people would be about this tall, more or less.
10 millimeter. Okay, the people would be slightly smaller, I think.
Yeah.
The people would be somewhere, let's say 7 millimeter.
Yeah.
Let's
I
say
mean, I've seen buildings made in that scale, but I never thought anyone would actually do the furnishings and the interiors for them. Yeah.
yes, they're very, 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 you have to have a good eyesight. Make
Excuse
sure you
me.
don't have any tremors in your hands, and then you're fine there.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to sneeze.
No, no, definitely not. No. But those type of scales, when you're building a very, very small scale, you have only a small period of time to work on it. You cannot have, let's say, like a prolonged. I cannot, let's say, take hours working in that scale. It's just,
Yeah, I
let's
mean,
say,
because of the
max
eye
one
strain
hour.
and things like that, I would guess. Yeah.
You'll start getting a headache
Yeah,
working
I
in
can
that
imagine.
scale, especially if you're used to building the bigger ones.
Okay, so speaking of interiors,
Yes, in the library.
Yeah.
the Dickens bookshop. Yes.
You
This
were
is a Victorian. It's a Victorian library, basically, and the nice thing about it, basically everything what you see is handmade or added more detail to, let's say, for instance, the book press that you're actually seeing over there, that is totally handmade,
nice.
which I built. And the nice thing about the library is actually the amount of books that you see, which are all with pages, real pages, and most of them are actually readable books, which I made. So, yes,
Okay, I
there's
think.
over 130 books there for sure.
You showed me one you had on your desk before we
Yes,
started this. Would you
yes,
mind
yes.
bringing it up and just to show people what we're talking about?
We're talking about like a very small miniature book here, and there are like pages where you can actually like read.
Wait, you've even got the printed
Yes,
pages
but I don't
inside the
think.
cover. The
Yes,
oh,
let's
okay.
see. There you go.
Is that the
So
wind
yeah.
in the willows?
Sorry?
Is that the wind in the willows?
No, this is The Unselfish Pig
Okay.
called this one from but there are a lot of books that I enjoy doing. I find, let's say, short stories so that I can actually do type, set the pages, fold and do so, yeah. But there is quite a lot of books there. And I'm still adding more books. When I do have, let's say, time, I say, it's about time I make a new book and just add it in the library there. I enjoy adding books there. It didn't take,
Ah, so you're still adding
let's
to
say,
this.
yes,
Oh,
the
okay.
books keep on adding to the library. I mean, that's the nice thing about it, right? A library is always alive with new books. I think the books took me a couple of years to do. So, yeah.
Okay. And we do have a couple of questions here for you. 1 second, let me find the
Sure.
window again. So one is from Dungeon Matron saying, "How did you manage to get the print small enough?"
Okay, small enough. The I mean, okay, basically I use the smallest font that you can find. Usually would go like 4 or 5 max. I
Okay.
think that is when you're using the computer, even let's say like a Word document, the smallest font would be like 4 or 5, which could sometimes if you go smaller, it won't be readable. I mean, you can see it on print, but when you come to read it with your naked eye, then you won't be able to read if you
So I
go
would
for a
imagine not.
very, very small scale, small font. So usually the size of the font would be around, let's say, like 4 or 5. But those are the best size of fonts.
Thank you. And a question from Questboard Terrain. That is amazing. What is your preferred material? Wood, foam, cardboard?
Okay, I like to use both wood and cardboard. Wood is my favorite, definitely is my favorite. But then again, let's say cardboard is an alternative. I do use cardboard, let's say for fireplaces or for fire breasts. When it comes to do, let's say like interior walls, then I prefer having like cardboard because it's easier to fit in. So yeah. But what you see in the library is all wood. All of it is wood.
Awesome.
Foam I use it mostly for bedding. Let's say to
Yeah.
make the mattresses for the beds. So
Is that because it's easier to make it look soft, kind of thing?
yes, I mean just like any other bed. I mean a bed has its mattress, so and usually it's soft. So we use foam for to do the bed. Cotton for the pillowcases to fill in the pillows. So at least most artists try to make a doll's house realistic as possible, like
They,
you're decorating your
I mean, from your pictures, yes, I've noticed that. I mean, they are hyper realistic. So, yeah, and I see that mines are being blown in the chat. So look at the tiny bust on the shelf, and I wonder if it was sculpted clay or a resin print.
Okay, that one is actually not even a resin print. That is actually a metal that is made from soft metal,
Whoa, okay.
and hand painted. I think the bust. But I am now into resin printing, which and I hand paint myself. So yes, 3D printing is quite becoming very fashionable. So I do enjoy the 3D printing nowadays to make, let's say, mostly ornaments. It's not my main tool, definitely, but to make miniature ornaments, it is very, very, very helpful, 3D printing.
Do you also design the pieces yourself in 3D, or how do you do that? All right.
Yes, I do try. I mean, it's quite new to me, but I have just been like practicing because that's what I enjoy doing. I try to do my own stuff. And yes, I have been designing a couple of my own 3D printings also, yes.
I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, that's a whole bunch of different skill sets. And I just
Yes,
realized that is that the Big Ben?
yes, the Big Ben. I mean, it's a Victorian, so yeah. Yes. And there's the portrait of Charles Dickens in the center. And that is actually printed on canvas.
Okay.
I managed to do that on canvas. So yes, very happy with that one actually. Yes.
Okay, I see
So
that
yeah,
Lawrence from the Debatable Terrain has joined us. Hi, Lawrence. And before I forget, I'm just going to drop the link to the community showcase in the chat. So if anyone wants to show off pieces of their work later, they can put them in that channel.
yeah. So,
Okay. And yeah, another thing that I noticed that use a lot of lighting and electronics in your build. Yeah?
yes, yes. The lightning, okay, those are you purchase them ready-made. From a DIY doll's house shops. Most of them do have them. But then again, it takes a bit of skill, like to add them to the buildings, to wire them, and make sure you have the right transformers for the lights, because they are 12 volts.
Mm-hmm.
So the normal electricity doesn't actually, the bulbs don't take our normal electricity, so you have to use a 12-volt transformer. But once you get a hand of how you pass the electricity, the wiring, then you don't have any problem. I mean, I can't imagine having a doll's house without any lights. I mean, actually, it's the one that makes the room light, and makes it more magical, I would say. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, when it comes to wiring, I've only used electronics in a couple of my pieces, and literally, I just hold the wires together with electrical tape. So, seeing anything neater than that makes me like, oh, nice. Yeah, I'm a software engineer, not an electronics engineer.
No. I mean, I'm not an engineering either. I'm not an electrician, anything, but it's quite simple to do. It's not that difficult once you get the hang of it. Once you get the hang of it. Okay, this is the wine cabinet. Okay, it is, let's say, more of the 1960s.
Okay.
Actually, my grandmother had one of this, which I was fascinated with when I was a child because I couldn't understand how this world globe carried all the, let's say, liqueurs and alcohol bottles inside of it. And so I designed, this is one of my own designs, which I made.
Okay.
I made out of wood. Basically, it's wood,
Oh,
and
okay.
the it's all made out of wood. And the one thing which is not wood is actually the sphere.
Okay.
The sphere is basically two halves of a sphere. It could be actually a ball, but I 3D printed those. So, but the rest, like the wood, where the bottles are, where the glasses are kept, that is totally designed and
So even these legs are wood?
yes, those are also
Whoa.
wood, but those are like basically are spindles, which you can find from
Ah,
a
okay.
DIY. Um, they are almost slightly thicker than a toothpick.
Okay.
Or okay, let's say they are thick as more like a one of those bamboo sticks.
I get you.
But you can find them. You can find them in the DIY stuff. So and then obviously I designed, let's say, like the printing, the globe itself. You have to find like a map and wrap it around it. So there is quite a lot of work there,
Yeah.
and it actually does open and close.
Oh, of course it does.
We don't want it all the time open, so it does close and open. Actually, I think I don't know where it is, but I do have it around here. I don't know where to put it, but yeah. So it's
Okay, yeah. Danjimatrin is saying that she's in awe, and yeah, totally agree about it.
oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and another question from Questboard Terrain. How did you craft the
Okay.
glasses and the bottles? Are they resin?
The bottles are resin. The bottles are resin. The glasses are glass. From the let's say those house shops. Okay, I don't do glass. That is the one thing which I definitely don't do. Is the glass. So I mean, I don't have the right tools to make the glass, but the glasses can be found. The glasses can be found.
Okay.
You get them from, let's say, like a doll's house shop or anything.
And
Bottles are made out of resin, and you can also find those, let's say, from those house shops, any type of bottles. And then you add some coloring to make them, you add some shading to them to make them look like they are full with any type of liqueur. I add some of my own touches, let's say. So yeah.
so Dirty Basement Terrain is saying, yeah, opening it because it
Yeah,
wasn't awesome
yeah,
enough.
I'm seeing it. Actually, I think I do have a video of it, showing them that it actually does open and close. So oh no, no, no. There's no real whiskey in the decanter. No.
Okay, and where do you buy the light shades from? I think they're referring
The lights, I'm
to these,
assuming,
I
to the
guess.
ceiling lights. Yes.
Yes.
Those are found from any, let's say, those house shops or hobby shops, that offer, any those house items. So basically, yes. Most those house, online big shops do actually have
All right.
that. Uh, you don't. It's not something that. Um, okay, I am trying to do lights using resin, but not those.
Okay. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's totally overshadowed by the globe because the globe is absolutely amazing, but
Yes.
can we talk a bit about
Okay.
this furniture as well? Because
The armchair. Okay, the armchair is not one that I have done. Let's say it's one more of a like you buy, but then again, I like to upholster my own furniture pieces, because sometimes you find them a bit basic or they
mhm.
look not realistic. Basically, what I do is literally remove all the fabric that is on them,
All right.
and then I add my own type of fabric, because the nice thing about miniature is that you have to use, let's say, a very, very, very small print, let's say, on the fabric, because if you find normal big patterns, you lose all the effect of it.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine so.
yes,
Yeah. So is that actual cloth on there, or is it literally a print that's
yes,
overlaid on
it's
it?
cloth.
Okay.
No, it's cloth. It's real material. It's cloth with padding behind it. So yes.
Okay, Dungeon Matron again. I am wondering if the glass shades could be made from clear resin.
Yes,
Probably, yeah.
definitely. Yes. Actually, I've tried a couple and I managed to do them. Yes.
All right.
They are. Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
For
No.
instance,
Now this one for
this is
me.
actually, yeah, that is a French style Georgian sitting room. At the back, those are actually 3D resin prints that I've done myself with the arches and everything. At the back, the door leads to nowhere. It's basically what we call a false door. It
Okay.
doesn't lead to anywhere. There's no room, but it gives you the illusion that there is another room behind. And with that effect, it deepens the room. There's more depth in the room. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is where you actually use the cardboard. Let's say if the back is actually cardboard, it's not wood,
all right.
except for the
So I mean, with this photo, for example, if I saw this out of context like that, I would just think that someone took a photo of a palace
a
somewhere.
very
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah, Dirty Basement is saying next you're going to show me a lounge chair that actually works.
Yeah. Um oh, thank you. Thank you so much. For instance, this is an example, let's say, of where you see the armchairs and the seats there.
Mhm.
Those are totally my upholstery. There is when you actually do see a small pattern, which you find, let's say there are few people who do actually sell, let's say, fabric like that. And then you have to add more detail, let's say like the braiding to make it more rich, more detailed. So let's say if that was a cheap piece of furniture, it was totally transformed into something definitely much more richer, I would say. Or the growers to come through the door. Well, you never know. I do actually do add dolls in the dolls' houses. What happens during the evening or when I'm not around, I don't know if they actually do move or
I'm pretty sure they
I
could
have
have.
extra.
I'm pretty sure they could have some awesome parties in there. I mean, I
Yes,
just noticed these candlesticks here. That's another thing I really
yes,
love about this because you can look at this for a while and then you notice some detail that had escaped before.
yes. Those are my prints, actually. Those are my 3D printing. That's you have a clock and actually the candlesticks. I'm a big fan of making clocks and candlesticks to match.
Okay.
So yes, I love clocks. And also you have, let's say, the ceiling roses, which makes the ceiling more, especially the lightning looks even more nicer. The more detail you add to the room, the better it is. I mean, it looks much more busier, I would say. I like my busy rooms. I like rooms. I think one of the things that you would find in those houses that they are quite busy. I like to add as many items and detail to make them look more lived in.
I think that is one of the elements that adds a lot of realism to your work.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Oh, that's a good point from Questbor Terrain. I love how the candles look like they have been burned.
Okay. Yes, the candles. Okay, even though let's say the candlestick per se is made out of resin, The candle,
Don't tell
which
me it's
looks
wax.
like it's been burnt and everything, those are made with polymer clay.
Okay.
Those are hand sculptured by me with polymer clay, yes.
Okay, in fact, yeah, we're going to jump into polymer clay in a second because people are inquiring about the grapes.
Ah, the grapes, yes.
Okay, in the meantime, I see that our electronics guy has joined us. Hi, David. That light fixture is gorgeous. It is indeed gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so again, we
This is a small, okay, this is a small craft. Okay, not the cat. The cat is just a figurine which I painted to resemble my own cat, let's say. But then again, I made the, let's say
the
the
tree
clay
here.
thing, the
Yeah.
tree, yes, the scratch pole and everything. Basically, it's like a piece of wood with piece of wood with covered with fabric, and then I think I have used. What have I used there? Yes, most probably I have used some bamboo sticks and wrapped, let's say, like thread around them
Okay.
for the scratching pole. And then the food of Binksy, the ceramic bowl there, that is polymer clay. You have beads. So there is, let's say, a mixture of crafts there, of items that you can do to make that whole scene, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to finish on the bowl. It really looks like ceramic.
It is actually a ceramic bowl. Obviously, then you use decals to make, let's say, the name, polish, varnish to make it more whole. Then the food is polymer clay for sure. So yeah, that is what it is.
I'm looking at the out of focus cable box in the background. Let's see.
This is
Yeah,
okay.
I
She's
think.
actually seeing the TV because it's a modern house. So she's seeing actually the TV, the speakers at the back. Yeah, the video surround system.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's
It's
tough to make it. It does make it look lived in.
yeah.
Okay, but now, oh, here we go. Okay.
Here's the food. Yeah. Those are hand sculptured polymer clay, one of my favorites materials. Polymer clay. Um, uh, Definitely the detail comes out really, really nice, especially when making miniature food. Miniature food, the best, let's say, material would be polymer clay. What we have here is basically a bowl of pills and grapes. The grapes are all hand sculptured one by one and fixed together. And how then you say, how did you make it like that coloring? There's a translucent Fimo or polymer clay. Then you add small patches of green pigments to make it, try to get it the color that you want. And that would be it. Then the apples, coloring, shading, and using varnishes to get that, the glossy finish. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even the color variation on the apples is awesome. It's like,
Yes, it's shading, a lot of shading with pigments, trying not to add too much reds and yellows and mixture. So how did you get the grape so perfect? A lot of patience. Well, they're very, very, very tiny, so you have to really, turn them between your fingers and then make them together. So it does take a while because that's a lot of grapes over there. It's a quite nice bunch of grapes. Until you shape them, it does take. I think the worst is not how to shape them. I think the worst part, how to make grapes, is actually the coloring, to get the coloring right.
Yeah, because it's not a solid color like most other things. You have to retain that translucency.
Yes, yes. So there you go. The apples are also the way you shape them. You have to turn them into an apple. You have to shape it to make sure. Sometimes I tend to look at the real apples while I'm working, before or while I'm sculpturing. I look at the real thing just to make sure that I'm getting it correct, because it's not just about sculpturing. Sometimes you need to visualize, you need to see things while working,
Yeah, I
even like to
mean,
get the coloring right. So,
references are always important to just have something
yes, yes,
to.
yes.
'Cause I don't know about you, but memory doesn't always. It plays tricks
Yeah,
sometimes.
yes, big time. Yes, I agree.
So speaking of references, do you use references for your dollhouses? For something like
Not
this, for
really.
example. Okay.
Okay, this is a Victorian parlor, which is also very proud to say the cover of my book, my new book, Designing and Decorating a Period Doll's House. Okay, before building a doll's house, I like to do a lot of research. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
research um, on the period of the doll's house that I'm going to be working on. So for instance, if I'm working on a Victorian doll's house, I have to make sure that I am getting the period right, the era right. So you have to be careful of what kind of colors you're using, with the furniture. So this is basically a Victorian parlor, the type of fireplaces, furnishing. So before, I mean, Victorian now, I'm quite familiar with it because most, let's say, newbies or most beginners who start with building a doll's house find it very easy with a Victorian, using a
That's all right.
Victorian. So, I mean, there are various types of, I mean, you just go, let's say, Victorian or Regency or Edwardian. It depends what you want. What is your favorite style? What you feel like you want to do. But let's say most beginners try out with a Victorian doll's house, usually. Yeah. So this would be it. This would be like a city.
Okay. Okay. We also have a message from Thomas Murray, Miniatures. After having had the pleasure of meeting you and knowing your love of miniatures, seeing the detail in your work is stunning. It's blowing me away. Absolutely.
Yes, Thomas. Yes, Thomas is a good friend of mine, and I had the pleasure of meeting Thomas. Actually, Thomas is an amazing artist himself. So hi, Thomas, and he makes miniatures. I got to meet him in my book launch in the Netherlands. So hopefully we'll be meeting in a couple of weeks in London for the Kensington Festival.
Okay.
So yes.
So, yeah, speaking of your book, that is something we should be talking about very soon. But before that, we have a question from Dungeon Matron. Are the roses handmade?
Yes. The
Of course
roses
they are.
are, yes, they are. They, yes, those are actually my first set of roses that I ever made out of polymer clay. Those are made out of polymer clay. I love making roses. And they have fitted so well with the room setting and everything. Yes, those are definitely
Uh, I'm sorry, your volume just went down all of a sudden.
Has it? Is
Ah,
it
yeah.
better now?
Ah, yeah,
Yes.
perfect, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Uh,
Okay. Okay. So yes, those are hand sculptured roses. Yes. Okay.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, and Campaign Terrain is saying that he figured out your secret. He just sends real items through the Wonka TV, shrinking them.
The Wonka TV stream. Ah, no, no Wonka TVs here. No, 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 no.
So yeah, a lot of people are admiring the fireplace. Let's just bring this up because
Yeah,
there are also the figurines on top of the fireplace, which are amazing.
yes, yes.
Do you also have do you also have
And then
some
there's also the
electrics in
fire.
there? Yeah.
Yes, the fire basket can also be found, let's say, in the doll's house stores. The insert, which actually does light up. So that's also electrical, which can work and gives the glow of the coals. It's a really, really nice lighting there over there, and it adds to the magic. It adds to the
Oh
magic,
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
say. Yes. And on the mantelpiece of the fireplace, there is a clock, which is one of my prints, which is a 3D print, painted in bronze. And the two figurines are made out of white metal, but
Right.
those are hand painted by my father. They're very, very tiny. And my father is a very good he does paint miniatures, like, you know, these war hammers and models, and those actually are hand painted by him. Yeah,
I mean, those must be extremely small.
they are. I think they're, let's say, like around 30 millimeter high, 30 millimeter,
Okay.
25 millimeter.
I thought
Yeah,
they've got some lovely detail, like the patterns on the dress and so on.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, quite nice there.
Yeah,
Mantelpiece. So yeah. There is also, let's say, the grandfather clock. Drooling.
yeah. David loves well placed LEDs.
Yeah, but those are not actually LEDs. The
No,
lightning is not LEDs. No, those are actually bulbs. They're 12-volt bulbs.
seriously. All right.
No, 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 no LEDs. LEDs would be okay. I'm not a big fan of white light.
Okay.
I like the warm yellowish light. Um, but those are bulbs. They're very, very tiny bulbs, which they are
Oh,
easily can be changed and screwed in.
and
Actually, I recommend that whoever buys any lightning, that the bulbs can actually be changed, because then it will be very, very difficult, let's say, if it doesn't work, to remove the whole lightning and everything
yeah, it makes sense.
in the doll's house. So yeah, I make sure that all my doll's house lights are the bulbs can change, definitely. So
So,
yeah,
David is saying that your work in hiding the wires is phenomenal. Some real thought and planning on display.
thank you. Yes, yes. Well, I mean, usually, let's say if you're working on a doll's house, if you're working, you have to, let's say, drill through the walls to add the lightning, or let's say ceiling, and you have to hide it beneath the floorboards on the first floor. So there is a lot of, you have to think through before adding any lightning, even before adding wallpaper or floorboards, let's say in other rooms. So yeah, yes. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, quick question: is this something we will be able to read about in your book?
Yes, definitely. There. Yeah.
Okay. And would you
Well,
like to
let's
tell us
see.
about it?
Yes. Okay. Basically, it is a step-by-step um, doll's house, how to build a doll's house. Literally, it starts from scratch, the do's and not to do, mistakes that can be easily avoided. And one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because when I started dolls housing, I didn't have anyone to tell me what not to do or what to do or the easy way out, or I had to find it very, very hard to learn, from my own mistakes, let's say. But the book explains in detail, literally, especially for a beginner, how to build a doll's house, how to wire how to wire electricity, how to do everything, wallpaper, how to decorate, how to do the research for the period, everything. I think it's a very, very detailed book, I think, yeah. So I'm very, very proud of it.
Okay, so you
And
also went into actually how to find information about that. That's amazing.
yes, and obviously how to make certain miniatures, how
Okay.
to decorate a room. Yeah, so yeah, it is. I think it's quite a nice book. Try to capture a lot of things in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So remind me right now. I think in the US it's available on pre-order from Amazon, but I just left links or
Okay,
pages there.
at the moment, okay, the book has been released in September, last September,
Hmm.
which at the moment uh, is around Europe. Now for the States, it will be released around March. It's going to be March 2025. And I believe it's already out on pre-orders on Amazon and other main bookstores, let's say like Barnes and Nobles. I can't think at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people will find it.
Yes. I mean, the mainstream like bookstores, the big bookstores, they all have it, let's say, like in pre-order.
Okay, so Dungeon Maiden is asking, how long does a room like this take to make? Speaking of the previous one we were looking at.
So how long does it take to make a room? Well, um, it's okay. It depends what you're going to be doing in the room. I mean, like this can take you just a couple of hours or it can take you a day. Okay, let's say just a room like this, frames and everything, decorating, pictures. Let's have a day and a half. Okay, give and take, let's say 10 hours. 10 hours to complete. But you have the corners, the skirting, flooring, wallpapering. Um, I think you have like around 10 hours at least. It depends how fast you work on it, I guess.
So, I mean, it helps to have 27 years of experience, but yeah.
Well, I mean, this is it. I mean, for me, it could take me a couple of hours. For someone else, it could take longer. I can't really give the amount of I can't give it the right time frame because I mean everyone is different how they work.
Now, I don't know how it is for you, but for example, in my case, I don't really build for speed. It's just something will take as long as it takes. So I don't know what it is about you, but if I'm just building something to relax, it will take time.
Yes, it does take time. It does take time. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so Dirty Basement Terrain is saying, obviously it was a good thing that you had to figure most of it on your own. The results from the way you build are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate
Also, did I hear 10 hours? I need to go get my ears checked. No, I think you heard it right.
Well, it depends. It depends. Like I said, everyone. Okay. The nice thing about dolls housing or creating any type of miniature is no one is really rushing you. There is no one is checking how long you're going to take, or let's say there's no time limit. You don't have a time
Exactly.
frame. I mean, and building a doll's house, whatever it is, or a room box, you just enjoy it. I mean, today I feel like working on it for 3 hours. Tomorrow I'll do less or do something totally different. But I mean, it's a hobby that you get to enjoy. I mean, maybe you want to go a bit slower today, tomorrow you want to work faster. So, how many hours or minutes? There isn't. It shouldn't be calculated in that manner. Shouldn't be
It's not
calculated.
a job, right? It's like I mean, as in it's
It's
what,
not a
yeah.
job. I mean, okay, for the book, to write the book, because with the book I had to build a doll's house. I mean, while writing the book, I had to build the doll's house for the book. And obviously, considering that I was with a contract, that I
Of
had
course.
like 18 months to finish the book, I had to, pick up space to build the doll's house. So, but in the long run, I mean, it can take you as much as you like, you know,
Yeah, definitely.
with the book. So, yes. Thomas, because Thomas, yes, actually built the book, bought the book. So, and I actually had Thomas, I wanted him to really tell me, even if it's a critic or positive or not. I wanted him to give me the feedback that I needed on Thomas. I mean, considering that you got the book, please do tell me an honest review of the book. And I mean, according to him, it is a really, really, really good book. So I'm really happy about that.
That's good to hear. And yeah, I will definitely be checking the book out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I believe you mentioned the local launch will be on the 7th or 8th December, yeah?
7th and 8th December in Malta.
Okay.
At My Miniature World over here, where the museum is of those houses. So whoever comes to the launch in Malta will also get the copy of the book and also will get the chance to see the dolls' houses. So yes.
Yep, I think I will have to schedule a visit.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking
Okay.
of, when when you were writing the book, I imagine that you had to kind of a break down all your own techniques and then to write them down. Did you kind of find yourself going? Sorry, I mean, because when you're trying to explain something to someone, even you might not think about it when you're doing it, but when
Okay.
did you find something that you didn't expect, or a new angle on something that you were very familiar with?
Okay. Basically, writing the book, when I was writing the book, I had to really go back in time and picture myself as a beginner. I mean, if I had to write the book the way, I mean, I am in my position today, it would have been a pamphlet, literally. But yes, I mean, considering that this was for someone who doesn't have an idea about dolls' houses, I had to put myself in my first stages of being a beginner and mostly the difficulties and the mistakes that I had to go through. And yes, so I really had to place myself as a beginner while writing the book. And let's say I used to go back in a chapter and say, wait a minute, did I add let's say enough information for the beginner to understand? And sometimes I used to add more to it to give it more, let's say, more detail, just to make sure that the reader or who needs the book gets the message right. Yes. It was not an easy book to write for me. No, definitely not. But I'm really, really happy with the outcome, I have
Yeah,
to say.
I can imagine because it's like getting all your experience, which is literally
Yes,
all about you, and then you have to make it accessible to literally everyone else in the world, which is
yes,
you have to change your mindset completely.
yes. And considering everything, it was not just about me, because when I was a beginner, let's say I'm talking about my first doll's house, my first, second, third. once they were completed, I would say, oh, they're perfect. I mean, they're still perfect. Don't get me wrong. They're still perfect to me because at that time, considering my experience, that is how much I knew, and they are perfect. I mean, let's say for the 4 years or 6 years experience that I had. But look at them today, and I would say, if I knew, let's say, a certain technique, I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have used this technique. So, I mean, things do evolve, and like I said, you learn from your own mistakes. And
Uh,
this is why I wrote the book, trying to avoid those mistakes, let's say, that most beginners would do. So, yeah.
I think that's a natural part of anyone's
Yes.
evolution as an artist.
Yes, yes. I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, there's the experience, 27 years. So, yeah. Yes.
So, do you have a very good question from Hansing Skillcrafter? Do you make sketches first?
Yes, yes, definitely. I mean, you have to sketch. Let's say if you're designing your own doll's house, you have to first sketch it, then you start taking the measurements, see if it's feasible or not, mm, work around them. And yes, there's definitely a lot of sketching involved, a lot of it. And the worst part that they come in the wrong timing when something comes in your mind, because usually it comes when I'm falling asleep. So
Ah!
it's not, yes,
Okay.
that, yes. So yeah, this is me during the launch, in
In the
the
Netherlands, yeah?
Netherlands. Yes, during the Doll's House Netherlands show last October. So yes, yeah.
Okay, Loosely Collected is saying this is very beautiful work. Definitely glad I don't need this sort of detail for my gaming terrain. I bought your skill and mastery.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and another question from Hansing Skillcrafter. On paper or 3D? Do you make your sketches on paper or on 3D? I'm guessing at least on paper, but possibly both.
Okay. No, usually it's on paper. Okay. Doll's housing, I like to keep it simple, at
Mm-hmm.
least. There's no 3D, no
Okay, relatively simple.
yeah. I mean, I already do miniatures in 3D. I don't need to do my doll's houses in 3D. Okay, this is actually one of my earlier um, doll's houses. It's
All
the
right.
tall house. And
Oh, secret
the
door.
nice thing, exactly, is that the bookcase, which you actually do have a secret passageway there behind. It does open and close. I left it, let's say, ajar, just
Is,
for the
and is that a safe full of money?
a vault.
Okay.
That's a vault. Yeah, that's a vault. And all the little bills are handmade. So yeah, unfortunately, I cannot do the real one, so I do the miniature ones. Okay. I'm interested in seeing the stuff made from buttons. Okay. The book actually does share a miniature that I use to make with button, which is basically the wall clock. You can make wall clocks, you can make cakes out of buttons. My early cakes were not polymer clay, they were actually made out of buttons. So yes, you can actually make frames, like wall frames out of buttons. There is quite, or plates, like nice plates. So yes.
Okay, so in the meantime, Campaigner is saying if I ever get miniaturized, I'm coming to Malta and moving into these.
Yeah. Well, you won't be the first one. I have been trying to do this for quite a long time, but I never got myself into a miniature.
Oh,
Yeah.
question from Thomas Murray.
Yes.
Is there anything you don't like making in miniature?
Ah, hmm, that's a hard. difficult question actually, because it's very difficult question, because I don't give up that easily. If there is something that I don't like, I keep on pondering and pondering and pondering until I get it. So, okay, if you had to ask me that question, I would change it a bit, because okay, what I'm not a big fan of is dark, medieval, spooky. I'm not a very dark person, um, so it's not easy for me to do that in miniature, because I'm pretty sure if I had to do something spooky or I don't know, scary, I will still manage to turn it into party or something cute.
Yeah, I mean,
So
why not? At the end of the day, you build what makes you happy. It's not like
yes,
everyone
but
has
I
to be able
think
to make everything.
yeah, but I think the most difficult, let's say, as a whole, not as a miniature, let's say as a doll's house, would be
Okay.
Tudor or medieval, because it is slightly dark. It is a bit dark, and I'm not a very dark person, so
So,
it
so it's
is,
more like an atmosphere rather than a thing.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Dirty Basement Terrain is saying, the polar opposite of me.
I'll polar positively, yes,
No, no,
yes.
Lawrence, it's not even the same planet, man. Not even the same planet. Lawrence does love to make things that are very dark.
I do admire, don't get me wrong, I do love the work. When I see something, especially dark, I'm like, wow, it's mind blowing, because um it's very difficult for me. So I get to admire it very much. Very much. It's just, I guess it's my personality, my character that doesn't bring forth what I mean, like this type of dark stuff. So yes.
Ah, I get you. So, to follow up from that question, is there anything that you, either a thing or a technique that you really enjoy making or using, or anything in particular, like something building a particular thing that makes you happy?
Okay. I do like polymer clay. I do love polymer clay, sculpturing polymer clay. It's something, let's say, that you see a plate and you try to create it. But I cannot say like favorite. Oh, I love doing this. I mean, you have a room, you have
Mm-hmm.
to fill it up. It's all of it. All of it is my favorite. I mean, okay, what I like to do, let's say, in dolls' houses, and that is my favorite part, I would say, is bringing out the wow factor in a room.
Okay.
Something that draws you to the room. So I have to, let's say, look at the room and say, okay, what is going to draw, let's say, the eye to that room? I think that is what I enjoy doing the most. I think, yes. And bringing out the wow factor in the room. Yes.
Okay, so let's take this as an example of our factor. This is mostly polymer clay, I would imagine.
This is all of it. Okay, except for the jug, I would say that is all of it polymer clay. Except for the jug, yes, even the beaten egg in the bowl there. Yes,
Wow.
that's all polymer
And
clay.
what about the stalks on these carrots? The greens on these
Those
carrots?
are okay. Those are okay. Sometimes I am assuming you use like terrain.
Yes.
I think you're used to using some of them can be actually terrain that you add and you cut and you trim to make it look
Ah, okay.
like the carrots. For the carrots, I find them very useful actually. Yes, but the rest is eggs, corn, bread,
More of
shaving.
those grapes, yeah.
more of the grapes. Actually, more nibbled, I would say. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that bread looks amazing.
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of shading with a lot of pigments. I use a lot of chalk.
Okay.
So yes. Yep.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and let's see, this
This
is
is
a full build of a dollhouse, right? The one
this is
from the book.
actually, yes, Mornington, number 44, Mornington. It's the doll's house which was built for the book. So basically, it's a step. The book is a step by step of how I built and decorated this doll's house. Yeah.
Okay.
You have the parlor, you have the staircase, you have like the breakfast room, small kitchen. Then on the top floor, you have the bathroom and the bedroom. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
Uh, excuse me, because I'm not very familiar with the terminology around those houses. So,
Okay.
when you mention a room box, is it like one compartment of this building?
No. Okay. Room box is literally, let's say you have a box and you're adding, you're making a room out of the box,
All
literally.
right.
Okay. So the good thing about this doll's house that this doll's house is actually built with 3 room boxes.
All right.
Each floor is a room box on its own and then put together, literally. Actually, I think you can even see the edges,
This
which is
this
the
division here
room
kind of thing, yeah?
box. Yes.
All
You
right.
actually see like the thick and the thin. And this is the nice thing about doll's houses that you can have as many room boxes as you like and do them together, and you have one whole doll's house. I mean, for a beginner, it's the most simplest way of building a doll's house.
Okay, this is super interesting because I know that I saw that earlier some people in the chat were talking about book nooks, and I think this is
Yes,
an excellent way of building one, for example.
yes. Book nook can be like even thinner, and then you make a, yes, I mean, this can, let's say if you have one room and you're going to do it as a book nook, it can easily be fit on a shelf. Yes. Perfect. And the doll's houses obviously come with a front, but you can leave it without a front. It doesn't make any difference.
Okay, we have a
Did
lot
you
of
make the
questions.
staircase? Banister is amazing. Okay. The staircase, you can find it on like the, do-it-yourself item from a doll's house shop. But then again, there is a lot of work when it comes to spindles, the railing, the posts, or the carpeting. You have the carpeting on the staircase. It's there. You see, there's a carpet and there's the brass rods. So that is a lot of work. And the book does show step by step how that is actually made, how to build the staircase. So yes.
Okay, to be honest, I was looking at the banister, then I saw the wicker basket here, then I saw the garlic
The
here. That's
kitchen.
yeah.
Yes, the garlic. Yes. The garlic is made out of polymer clay. And I mean, if you look at the kitchen, there's the you have, let's say, like the carpet, the rug, you have the tablecloths or
The
the
dishes in the
dishcloths
sink. Yeah.
and the dishes in the sink. Those are
Excuse me.
all things, bless you, they are all things that you can find how to make in the book. So yes,
Is this a sewing machine here?
yes, it's a sewing machine. Yeah, a small sewing machine, and yeah,
Okay.
lights. You have the bed,
This
like
lampshade here looks amazing.
a lampshade, and on the bed there's okay, Victorian times, because this is based on a Victorian house. The bed is with lace, because most Victorian beds used like lace to decorate the bed. So yes.
Yeah,
Do
in
you
fact,
make the lace for the
yeah.
bedspread? I don't do lace. I buy the lace. That is, I mean, that is one thing. I mean, I do crochet, I do knitting, but lace making, no, it's something that I buy. But even you have to be very careful what type of lace to buy to fit.
Because of the
Or
weave size, I imagine, yeah?
the detail, you have to be careful that it doesn't, that it has to remain in a small pattern and everything, because it doesn't make sense once you
Of
place it
course.
on the bed. So you have to be very, very careful what kind of lace you have to use there. So, yeah.
Just checking out the little soap bottles here, and I mean, again, the clocks and the stuff in here just.
There is actually at the back of in the kitchen, there is actually the clock that I was mentioning there, that one. That is made out of a button.
Okay.
So that clock over there is made out of a button. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the things, the wicker basket. Don't tell me you wove that. Okay, that particular basket I didn't wove, but I do weave wicker baskets. Yes.
Full size ones, you mean, or the little ones?
No, miniature ones.
Okay.
Miniature. She saw that there. It's in the dining area. She's seeing that small basket over there. I mean, they're not as difficult. They're quite easy and quite enjoyable to do. I mean, I try my hands at everything that comes in. So.
Okay. By the way, what do you use for these carpets? Because the stuff on the
Okay,
edges looks really good.
the carpet is actually a technique, and it's also mentioned in the how to make them in the book.
Okay.
The carpet. It's actually a rug, but the way it is made, it is so simple to make, and the coloring and with pans, it comes really, really nice. It's mentioned
Yeah, for sure.
how they are made in the book, and I think it's something that people will enjoy. Beginners will enjoy doing for sure. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't see
Yeah.
myself building those houses, but I can see stuff here that I could use in a bunch of different places because there's so much good information here. And then it's just a
Yeah.
question of how to apply it.
Yes. I mean, basically, most artists who work with miniatures use the same techniques, only the results are slightly different, but the techniques are quite the same. So, yes.
Okay, and Tanjimaitin is asking, do you use wire to weave the basket?
Do you use wire to? No, 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 no. You actually
No?
do use, no way. I mean, you can do use wire, for instance. I used wire to make like these egg baskets. Sometimes like egg baskets use like wiring. They're quite nice, and you put like eggs in them. But you do actually find, let's say, like wickery. You do find like these thin, like from a hobby or from a craft shop,
Actual wicker
and
fibers kind of thing?
yes, yes, yes,
All right.
and you can make baskets out of them. Yes.
Dirty basement tracing, I learned from Model. Yeah, that's another excellent source of knowledge for crafting and building things because model railroaders make some amazing things.
Yes, yes.
I think they tend to go more on the smaller scales though.
Yes, they are okay. Those go, I think they're more like 148 and
Something like that, yeah.
even smaller, quarter square. So yes.
Okay, Helsing Scale Crafter has another excellent question. How do you keep them free of dust? That is a very good question.
Wow. Okay, dolls' houses have front cover.
All right.
So basically, inside remains quite clean. Okay, once in a while you have to clear up the room, clean, put back everything back inside. Because the nice thing about those houses, I don't glue stuff. I mean, the chairs can be moved, the furniture can be moved out. So nothing is fixed, nothing is stuck,
Oh, okay.
no glue. So sometimes, once in a while, you have to pull out everything and clean. Usually a good paintbrush. You just, clean the dolls' houses. Mostly the dolls' houses which get dirty are from the outside.
Nah, that makes sense, yeah.
So it's it does I use just like a paintbrush and just go over the dolls' houses. Sometimes I also use which people use, let's say, for computers. There is this
That
like can of
compressed air kind of thing. Yeah.
compressed air. So yes, so there you go.
All right. So Dungeon Matron was no, it's not. It's not Tiny Maids.
No, tiny maids. There definitely no tiny maids involved. No.
Okay. Their bedroom. Oh, check out the detail
Yes.
on here.
That is a Georgian French style bed. So basically all of the bedding is handmade. The part on top, okay, um, where the curtains are, that is a resin print. No, that's not even a resin print. Actually, it's the it's a 3D print, but made from oh my God. It's not the 3D printing. It is a 3D printing, but not the resin printing.
It's a PLA print, the one
The
that goes in layers. Okay.
the
Okay.
filament
Okay. Okay.
printing, filament 3D printing. And then obviously there's cardboard involved to make let's say where the fabric is,
Mm-hmm.
curtains. So yes, it's quite a nice piece. It's quite a nice
Yeah.
piece.
No kidding. That's putting it very mildly. What do you use for mirrors? Because
Well, mirrors are mirrors.
actual mirrors. Okay.
Or yes, they're actual mirrors. Usually they're made out of um, acrylic, the plastic acrylic.
All right.
So yes, that's actually not the room is not quite completed. I was more focusing on the bed. And the bed has more details. Let's say the frames have been added, like picture frames.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, fabric has been added to the upholster. So it does look a bit different. It does definitely look different than it was before. All
So
the furniture is hand painted to make it look like, especially the tops of the furniture,
it looks like marble. Yeah.
to make it look exactly like marble, the furniture, hand painted. So yes.
So, just to get into your thinking process, what would you be adding to this? I'm guessing stuff like, no brushes or perfume bottles or
Oh
things like that.
yes. Perfume bottles, usually the ladies, because this is more like the dressing table is more like for a lady.
Mm-hmm.
You have like the hair brushes, the vanity sets, candlesticks, perfume bottles. So yes, jewelry boxes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that Jamaican is
Ah,
saying, I am expecting Mr.
Mr.
Darcy.
Darcy. No, actually, Mr. Darcy is Regency, North Georgia. So I don't think Mr. Darcy will be in this type of room.
Okay, and okay, Hansing Skycraft is asking, what sort of wood is the floor?
Okay, the floor is basically wood boards. And it's a wooden wood boards. They come into very, very thin strips, and you just like fix them to the floor. Then obviously you want to polish or stain them. This could be made out of balsa wood. You make like thin balsa wood, then obviously you stain them to make them look like, let's say, walnut or oak, and then you varnish. So yes.
So basically, you're treating it like you would treat a real wooden floor, just in a smaller area.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, that's the idea. Yes.
Somehow, I suspect she doesn't get dizzy maybe making her marble.
No, I actually love marbling. I do love the marbling technique. I do like, I mean, you have to use very, very fine paint brushes. There's a lot of water smudging involved. I do love, especially when I do make miniatures, let's say hand painted miniatures, I do love to use the marble technique. Yes, you have to make sure the coloring is right. It's not
Obviously.
just oh yes. No, I do. It's not to get. It doesn't get me dizzy marbling.
Yeah.
I do like it.
What
Actually,
Dungeon
yes.
what Dungeon Matron is referring to is an experiment she was doing a couple of years back, I think, where basically she would lay down heavily watered paint.
Okay, yeah.
And then blow at it through a straw to cause the ripple patterns like you would get in marble. It did look very convincing, but she got lightheaded because of all the.
Oh, okay. No. I don't use that type of. I don't use that type of technique because I think it's too small. It would be. I won't get the lining as I would like. No. I
Of
don't
course.
use the straw technique.
But yeah, just 1 second. One thing I'm really liking about this is the effect of the shadows on here from the light and
Yes,
the.
the type of photo, the way you capture it. Sometimes it's also how you capture the photo, the room. You have to have good lighting to take good
Obviously,
photos. Yes.
because Bertrand is saying I'm excited to get the book.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to get it, but after seeing all these and talking to him, I'm even more hyped now.
Oh, well, yeah. It's. I think there is some nice techniques. Yes. This is actually during the launch in
The Netherlands, yeah?
yes. Yeah. And there's a few of my miniatures there, which are the resin prints, and most of them are my own design. So yes,
Nice.
there is quite a few. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and
So
this is
those are
your
my
family.
daughters. Yes, my daughters. Both my daughters were with me during the first launch. Well, yeah.
Okay, oh, and I think this
And
is the
I
room here.
actually made a room box of the book cover. So I made a replica.
Ah,
There
it's
you
not
go.
even
You
the
have
one. Oh, okay,
it's not the same one. It's just a replica of the room box.
I see.
Um, and the nice thing about this is the room box itself can be dismantled, especially considering that I needed to travel with it.
Of course.
I had to figure out how to get it, let's say, in the walls separate and everything. And so I made a replica for it. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's a dumb question, but how did you transport all the piece of furniture and the parts and stuff? Because I mean, that must have taken either a massive amount of wrapping or whatever, because they do look very
Yes.
delicate.
Yes. Okay. The miniature pieces, like the accessories, those and any type of miniature. I mean, it's not just those miniatures, even let's say the ones that I was actually having on display and selling during the fair. Those have to be wrapped up in bubble wrap, separate boxes. I mean, without having any space so they don't move, let's say, while traveling. Furniture was separated in another box. The chandelier on its own had to go
All right.
in a specific box on its own with foam. so none of the glass shades would break or anything.
I see. Okay.
Then the walls and the floor and the ceiling, those come in separate, so they flatten, and you just wrap them up in bubble wrap, and there you go. So we had 3 suitcases, so yeah, it was a lot of carrying.
Campaign terrain is saying that that's a hell of a flex. What is it? Because we're all saying, oh, that's amazing, that looks so awesome, and you're like just, oh yeah, I made 2.
Yeah, 2 red boxes. I mean, one to keep here fixed and one to carry with me. But I had to do that, yes. Because one is the one that is with the doll's house, that is fixed, glued, and everything. I can never dismantle that. So,
So it's part of a block
especially
of 3 items, yeah? Okay.
exactly. And there's also the hall included, which is one thing. So for the launches, I had to do separate
Have something
boxes.
more portable, relatively more portable.
Yes. I couldn't imagine myself traveling with, carrying a big box.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, apart from the size, there are so many delicate parts. It would something
Yes.
would.
Everything had to be transported like separately. I mean, accessories have to be in one box, the furniture in another box, and then the rest separate. So yeah, you cannot travel. Okay, let's carry everything in one go, and you have to put everything back one by one, slowly.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like even planning a trip with it is okay. So we have to have X amount of time to pack everything, then to unpack everything, then to put it in place, then to take down.
Yes. The good thing is the fares. I mean, my stand was, compared to other stands, was quite small. And the organizers are very, very great at doing these type of shows. And obviously they give you plenty of time to set up your table or your stand or whatever. So that is the least of our problems. I think it's the worst part is packing, making sure that you have enough space in your luggage or they don't go overweight, or yes, I think that is the headache.
Yeah, I mean, especially since use quite a lot of wood, I imagine they get quite hefty. All right.
Yes. Actually, the worst thing, because considering it was the launch of the book and I had books to carry, it's the books that took the bulk of the weight. The books were the most heavy. I mean, they're quite those. Okay, apart from the construction, the items are quite light. They're quite light. It's the books that were quite heavy.
Okay. So another question from Dungeon Matron: do you ever add sounds or other effects?
Not yet. So far, not yet. Actually, I was talking to Thomas, and there are other dolls houses that do have effects, sound effects. Let's say a doorbell, or there are other things. And I am very, very curious about the doorbell. I do want a doll's house that actually does have a working doorbell. So yes, there are other things which I haven't tried yet.
Okay, so definitely Terraintronics, definitely you should definitely talk to the lady.
Yeah.
Okay, because one of the things that definitely makes, for example, is small controllers for moving parts of miniatures, light controls, and sound controls. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. Yeah.
And as I said, he does appreciate a good wiring layout. Yeah. Hi, go for it painting. Good to see you. Unpacking tiny trunks must be tedious. Yeah, I would not be surprised if you have tiny trunks with tiny clothes in them, and
that goes without saying. I mean, I can have a whole wardrobe with clothes, and so yeah. I mean, you have to have The doll's houses have their wardrobes with clothes. So yes, I mean, some of my doll's houses even have the kitchens with their cabinets all packed with their stuff. So yes,
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're joking or not. I'm going to assume you're not.
I'm not joking. No.
Okay. Okay, so speaking of the fairs, are there many fairs like dollhouse fairs, or are there a few large ones, a lot of small ones? Because again, this is an
Around the
entirely different
world,
world
yes.
to me. Yeah, right.
Yes, especially in the States. There are some really, really nice doll's house fairs in the States. Um, that I haven't gone to. But so far, I have been to the one actually in Holland. I have been to three different fairs,
All right.
and they're very big, very nice doll's house fairs. I have been to Kensington now, actually last May, and there obviously going to be one in 2 weeks. 2 weeks where I'm going to be launching the book now. And there's also a very, very nice one in Germany. In Germany, there's also a very, very
All right.
nice Spain, Italy. There are quite a few. France.
Yeah, so it's quite
Um,
universal, then, yeah.
yes, in Europe, there is quite a nice couple of fairs. Yes. And I'm assuming it happens everywhere. These are the ones that I know because I'm from Europe. But I think there are quite a I mean, those houses is quite big around the world. So yeah. So those who are following, make sure you look in your countries, and see where the doll's house shows are.
Yeah, I mean, again, I had never really thought about those houses before I saw your work, and it's like, okay, this is something new, and I'm definitely want to look more into the whole building of it. Again, I don't think I have the patience to even make one room possibly, but again, lots of different techniques that would be very useful.
You would be surprised, Karl. You would be surprised because I mean, okay, it has to be within the character, but if you put your mind to it, and you say, listen, I want to create this, and you are a creative person, then I mean, no one is going to be stopping you. So it's not, oh, I don't think I have the patience. You don't know because you haven't tried it. But once I think you put your head to it and you try it out, I think, yes, you will be capable to do it.
Dungeon Maiden is saying I would have to put less detail with mine since they would probably be used in tabletop RPGs. So yeah, because most of the things we build are used for gaming, then we have to leave some space to put miniatures in and move
Yes,
things around. So
yes.
definitely in some cases, gluing things down is important for us because we bump things when we're playing. So
Yes, but I mean, it's a different scenario. I mean, not let's say, for instance, those houses. Sometimes you look at it and say, okay, I don't want my dining room table to have food. I want it clear. I want it to be, let's say, or being like prepared. Sometimes you move stuff around just like in a normal house. Let's say, for instance, Christmas is coming along, so let's decorate a doll's house with Christmas. I mean, the nice thing about doll's houses is these things that you get to move or add something, or let's say you go to a doll's house show and say, oh, this is cute miniature. I think it would fit nicely in that particular doll's house. So
so it's
there
like when
you
you
go.
find I don't know, when you're out and you see something that would go great in your house, except that now we have how many 30 tiny houses and
Around 30 doll's houses, so I have to say, oh, okay, let's see in which house this will fit.
Okay, campaign is saying between miniature gaming, model railroading, and doll houses, if I had money to attend all I want, I'd never be home.
Well, I would
Truth.
totally agree with you there. Yes, definitely. I mean, and the nice also considering the Doll's House shows, and I mean, I've seen shows that also like Railway and other there's always something going on all year round. There's always, okay, a week after that, there's another, and the nice thing, they don't clash. So if you miss, let's say, a fair, then the following week there is a fair somewhere. So yeah.
Okay, nice. So it's
No, I mean they do it on purpose. They do it actually on purpose because most of, let's say, I will speak about the Doll's House shows. They're very international. Okay, I can have a Christmas tree.
yeah. Unless you have a miniature cat, in which case, yeah, it would definitely climb it.
Yes, yes. But then again, we try not to let the cats do that, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, makes
anything.
sense.
Yes.
So,
But
uh,
the Doll's House shows are international. So let's say if there is a particular person, artist who wants to take part in a show, they try to make it um, flexible even for the artist who wants to travel, or so they try not to clash the Doll's
I
House
see, right?
shows together because most of them are all international and they travel from one place. I mean, you have artists who go to every single Doll's House show
Wow.
that
Okay.
goes around the world. Yes. So yeah.
So now, do you have any kind of wish list for the one thing that you haven't built yet, or the or maybe what you're going to build next, or something like that?
Don't get me started, Carl. If you had to go into my head, it's a never-ending story. But okay, as soon as December goes by and let's say the book launches are over, TV shows and so on and so forth are done, then I'm going to start an Edwardian Doll's House,
Oh, nice.
which is very, very, very big. I think it's going to be my biggest Doll's House up till now. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It will
Now,
take a couple of years, but I think I'll manage.
yeah, I'm absolutely certain you'll manage it, and
Yeah.
you know, 2 years to finish it, and then maybe tweaking it around for another 10, maybe. From
Yeah,
what you're
well,
saying, yeah.
I think it's gonna take more than 2 years. I have a feeling it's gonna take a bit more than 2 years. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Do you ever do
Do
outdoor
you
scenes?
ever do outdoor scenes? Um, do I ever do door? Well, not really, not really. But I do, for instance, like to do like gardening scenes. Let's say if you have a doll's house and it has a garden or like a front garden, then yes, I mean, there goes the outdoor scene. Even let's say if you're doing the exterior of the doll's house, being roof, or I like to do the weathering. I have to make my windows, or let's say the bricking has to look a bit more weathered and not so clean.
Yeah,
Let's say.
that's not fresh out of the factory. Yeah.
Yes. And that is something that I actually have also added in the book because that is one of the things that, let's say, beginners do. They paint the doll's house outside and leave it clean. And we try, at least I try to make it look more realistic to the eye. Let's say, weathering the roof or the flooring, the pavement on the outside, adding small grass or anything. So yeah, so that is part of the outdoor scene, I would say.
Okay. I mean, it still has to be in the context of a doll's house, so I wouldn't imagine that you'd
Yes,
make a scene of somewhere out in the middle of a forest.
exactly. I mean, if I'm doing glass houses, it's going to be inside, not outside. But yeah, but there is, okay, in the pipeline somewhere around. I do actually have a doll's house which has like a background, like a back garden.
All
So
right.
that is going to be like on the outside. And thinking about it, I have a forge. I have a forge. I built
Really?
a forge. Yes, I made a doll's house which has a forge, has a blacksmith. Um, And on the back of the backpack, I actually did like the gardening where he keeps his stuff. So there is a bit of the outdoor scenery there. Yes.
Nice. Okay, now, what do you say we take a look at what people have sent in? Some of the pieces they built.
Yeah.
Let's see one second. Currently trying to build a conservatory attached to the MDF, to an MDF house I built from Michaels.
Yes. Yes. I actually do have a conservatory for it. Yes. Lost the for it.
Everyone loves a good forge.
Yes. Oh, I like those. Those are the
Like
yes.
Venus flytraps.
Yes.
With tiny skeletons in them.
Really nice. I wouldn't like to put my finger there. Oops.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is by Lawrence from Dirty Basement Terrain.
Very nice, Lawrence. Well done.
Okay, Lawrence, I'm guessing you will have the video for these out in the this week. But yeah, Dirty Basement Terrain is definitely, as I was saying earlier, definitely on the darker side builds. But
Yes, and they are made out of has he? Do you know from? They're made out of.
okay, I'm just going to guess, but based on what he usually makes, I'm guessing the rocks are foam.
Foam. Okay.
I'm guessing that those might be plastic plants.
Okay.
I can see some tentacles here, which are probably from plastic toys.
Wow. Very, very nice. Very nice. Very nice work. Ooh. Yep.
Okay, and the slime there is either epoxy putty, sorry, two-part epoxy.
Epoxy resin. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm. Lovely. Very nice work. Very nice. Although it's dark, it's still very colorful, and I do like it. Yes.
Yeah, he's saying that they are cheap plastic plants from Temu.
Yeah, yeah, very nice.
Okay, so he was building them on his live stream. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I will need to catch up on that.
Very nice. I like them, even though, I mean, like you say, they are dark, they're very, very colorful. I like them. Yeah, very nice.
Okay, and then this is I forget if this is a foam building.
Yes, I like it very much. Very nice. I like the weathering. I definitely like the way it's weathered, and yeah, very nice. Lovely.
Okay, and this is a build from Crestboard Train. So she started with this.
Yeah. One of the children, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. You see, I mean, from something totally, let's say, cheaper, then you transform it into something amazing and wonderful. Yeah.
Okay, with little furniture.
Yeah.
Little lights and stuff. So one thing I really liked about Crestboard Train's videos is whenever she builds something, she always makes a story to go with it, and that's what all of her channel is, literally storytelling about something set in her build.
Very nice. Lovely.
Okay, we're coming on with some baby doll builds from Lawrence. Again, yeah, they are dark.
Oh, yes. Now these are dark. But I mean, I do admire the work behind them. I do admire the work behind because, I mean, yeah, it's okay. That is spooky now. Yeah. Very dark.
Yeah, and the red stuff here, those are the same tentacles that he used, the same type of tentacles used in the flight red build. I'm pretty sure he buys all those toys.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he's very creative.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
wild imagination. So yeah, very, very, very nice, very interesting. I mean, even the technique and the way he, the shading of each one of them
No,
is
absolutely. I mean, I really
very,
admire the quality of his work, and the design
yeah,
is very much, the kind of stuff that Geiger would make. Is it Geiger? Geiger? The guy who designed Aliens.
yes, yes, I agree. Very, very nice. Well done, well done. Yeah. So yeah,
So, thanks everyone for sending the photos of your work. And yeah, Lawrence, I will
very good.
definitely be catching up on that stream. So, Rebecca, what
Yeah.
comes next for My Miniature World? Are you, I don't know, planning to another book maybe?
Okay. I had already a few asking me for the second book. Believe it or not, I'm like, oh my God, give me a breather.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think that was an easy task. So,
No, no, it was not, but I already had a few asking for a second book. Um, uh, I'm not saying no, but and I am thinking about it, I have to say. It will be if it does happen. Let's say if it does. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying it's happening, but if it does happen, it would be slightly a bit more advanced. Um, uh, let's say we continue. I mean, this was more for a beginner than let's say for the second stage. I was thinking more of let's say adding, let's say you have a doll's house and you want to add more extra rooms, then you can add, let's say, like basements or stuff like that. So also restoration of doll's houses.
oh, well, okay.
So yes, I do have it, let's say I have an idea, but still not 100%. Still not 100%.
Yeah,
I'm not saying no though.
yeah, okay, fair enough. But we shall definitely be waiting. And
Yes.
people who want to catch up on any news about this, when and if it happens,
So,
can visit your Facebook page, right?
yes, they can visit my Facebook page, my miniature world. Who also wants to see more of my doll's house projects? I have had a blog. I've been blogging my work since forever. So basically, every doll's house, you can actually see the process of how it starts and building up to the final stages. It's called my miniatureworld.blogspot.com.
Okay,
You can find my blog there.
I didn't find that one, but yeah, I will definitely look it up later.
Yes. There is quite a lot. There is quite a lot, especially on my earlier doll's houses.
All right.
I think I have had my blog for the past, let's say, 13 years. So there is quite a lot to catch up there. And okay, definitely, let's say after, let's say, the launches and everything, and start with the new year, then I'll be focusing mostly on my doll's house, on this new project,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be an Edwardian doll's house. Um, let's say I'm very inspired by Downton Abbey. I'm sure people know about Downton Abbey and more of the Edwardian era and everything. So yes, definitely it's going to be there. I'm sure I'll be creating more new miniatures, even if it doesn't have nothing to do with the new project, because I mean something, sometimes things pop in and just say, oh, I tried to create that miniature. And yeah,
Yeah,
it comes around.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know the feeling there. I mean,
Which is probably why I have
and
so many unfinished projects.
I try my best to focus on one project at a time. I found it easier for me, and it works even better. So sometimes even let's say this doll's house that I'm going to be building now, it's quite a big doll's house. and I know it's going to take a lot of time to complete. There's a lot of detail, a lot of rooms. It's going to be, like I said, the largest doll's house that I built to date. So yeah, and I'm sure that, let's say, sometimes you need a very short break, just like 2 days break, and those two days break, you get to do something which is completely different. But then you go back to the big project. I find it easier because I keep focused. I keep focused on the.
Oh yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Then, I mean, I don't know what comes. I mean, I don't know the future. I cannot read the future, so I don't know what. I mean, what happens. Sometimes you do get these things that sometimes unexpected positive things that you say, okay, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I'm going to take part in another doll's house show, or so yes. I mean, the girls already hinted that they want to go back to the doll's house show in the Netherlands, so that's another question there. Oh, yeah. You never know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll find things to keep you busy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always busy. I'm always busy, and that is the nice thing that you're always, you keep on doing stuff. I mean, sometimes you do get those days that you have to push yourself to do it, but at the end of the day, you know, you say, I've done it. This is my work. I'm proud of it. So I'm glad that I pushed myself to do it. So yes.
And yeah, I mean, you should be proud of your work because I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone's mind has been blown at this point. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, so Rebecca, we've almost been here for 2 hours, so I think I should let you get on with your day right now.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and
thank you.
I
Thank you
loved
so
seeing all
much.
your work and discussing it. So thank you so much for joining us today.
You are very welcome. I hope I get to meet you in person also, considering that you are from Malta.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
you can pop
I'm
in
definitely
for a
coming for
lunch.
a book, so definitely going
So
for that
there you
list.
go. So there you go. Keep in contact, and I also want to thank your audience for following it. I hope they enjoyed it as well. And thank you for the opportunity to share my work here.
No,
Thank you.
it's been my pleasure. Okay, so
Thank you
thank you again, and thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
so much. Bye bye. Bye.